Namaste everyone, welcome. सदगुरु श्री अनंता जी की जय हो। Questions, doubts, reports.
About this message which Ram had shared. One second. But as Jesus says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else shall be added unto you. When we ask simply to get closer to the divine presence, we find at the time that our health improves, our problems begin to be resolved, and all our relationships grow richer and more fulfilling. So, as you had guided it, it may or may not get better. But uh, uh, like if we are turning towards God, like we have learned that suffering cannot come without the mind. So without the suffering, is that not a better or a better fulfillment condition?
Yes, so this is a good question, no? That on one hand, he's saying that you are saying that suffering can't come without the mind. And then you're saying that turning to, on the other hand, you're saying that turning to God, outside situations might or might not be good. How is that possible? So I'm not talking about suffering, I am talking about the letting go of the manifest realm, the realm of perception to play out in any way. So because we want it to play out in a certain way, we take it to be, pleasure, pain, or, suffering, or, definition of happiness. But it is often seen in the life of those who have come to God that many of them have had a very, very hard time, correct? And many of them have not. Like Ramji went to Vanvas, an avatar of God also came on earth to show us that. I mean, it's going to be hard. All the apostles were killed. They were murdered. They were hung on the cross, and all of them. So uh, outwardly, inwardly, they had this attitude that I have turned to. So Christ said that if you turn to me, you will carry your cross and walk behind me. And they were elated when we read the letter of Saint Andrew. He was elated that Christ, I come to the cross with you. Such a huge deal. I mean, like, imagine that I come to the cross with you, and he's not ready to go on a plus cross, so he goes on a cross like that. You know, but can we say that we can go on the cross for Christ? I don't think I have that courage, yet, or if I would ever have it, you know. So outwardly, but in his inner way, was he suffering? Did Saint Andrew seem like he's suffering? One of the devotees of Christ in the times of Saint Paul, when he was dying, I shared this before. I was so moved when he was being stoned to death. And he was saying that when he was dying, he said, Lord, please receive my spirit. Those were his last words. Lord, please receive my spirit. Receive my soul. What is this kind of, do you feel like they are suffering? Yeah, they must be in pain. They must be hurt by humanity or whatever at some level. but this is the price to pay to be the disciple of Christ. Uh, Christ, all his apostles were killed. Are we ready to be like that? We just want a comfortable spirituality. So, because we want to use it to make our life better, you know, we want to use to feel good and not to feel bad, and not to see our issues, you know that's one of the ways. But later it's gonna get even more, I feel, full on, you know we're not able to go through small tests. We contemplated so much for our own sake, forget for the sake of God, you know can we be that selfless like the apostles uh, who went up on the cross in the most happy way? Because why? Because if we say we pray to Christ, we say that Christ, in this world, if this is what happened to you, then that is my highest honor that it happened to me. But we're not able to say it. We're able to only pray it, pray to Christ, We're not able to, if we really love somebody, like if somebody is our God, you know, somebody is our God, no, we he is the God and he is the one we pray to, then isn't it the highest honor if if he told me and went, he told me this and went, that follow your cross and come behind me. He told me this, he did it for me and went, and I'm not even close to that. You know why? Because this kind of a message that your relationships become better, your family becomes better, you're this, not because I said, or not because outwardly they change, inwardly it's okay. Like the sin and the sinner that we were talking about just before, that don't expect the others to change. We are okay because we know that we're going to stand up against the sin. And standing up against the sin, we will get a backlash, most probably. Unless it's like amongst the Sangha, like pointing out, Shiv, or, Meera, I saw this in you. Shiv, I saw this in you. Zara, like as a Sangha, we can say, and then we'll be more open or not. We've also seen in Sangha, we've shared openly what's happened, you know. So, like that. So it's okay. But imagine in the world, it's not outward things are not a marker. So good, happy family, happy days are not a marker of a true life, spiritual life, Uh, no, there is a joy in living empty of self-concern. There is a joy in being a beggar and being spat at. The joy of being able to take it in the name of Christ who took it, no? Um, but we're not there, no. We forget. We take it personally because we're living personally. That's why these messages are actually he's saying the right thing, but we're not the right audience to yet hear it. And even in this world, I don't think there's the right audience left. No. Mm, no, because we only want to hear it personally. My life should be good. My life should feel good to me. But life will not go according to mind's idea of good. My life can be very challenging, but in those most scary times, most difficult times, if we hold on to God, as our refuge, then He will show wonders to us, but they might not be easy in the worldly way, you know, uh, you know, uh, my health will get better. I don't know. I don't know because Ramana died of cancer. Um, Papaji was had all kinds of ailments. Mm, I don't know, you know, these things. I don't know how Eknath Swamiji died or if he's still around. I don't know. I don't know these things. For me, it feels like now that if God gives me a disease, I, I am, I am to learn through it. God doesn't do, I want to say this, yesterday also in Satsang with Father, if some of you were there, one man was asking, why doesn't God do his job well or whatever, and all those things. Why does this even happen then, that we suffer, etc. I really, really want to say that we suffer because out of his mercy we suffer. I think I was sharing this that we become such hard rocks. We are like a ocean of sin, and sin means what? Selfishness, self-interest, and which self-interest? The self that doesn't exist. So we are so deluded that in order to be slapped back into life, God sends these things our way. We don't know the kosha of our sin, we don't know. And I feel it is out of His mercy that it is like this, rather than it being, you know, a difficulty for us. It seems difficult on the outside, but it's not really as it seems. It's His great love. I know it's very hard to digest. Yeah. If supposing something happens to me, I'm saying some really difficult problem comes to this body, that body, any body, you know, quickly we are to say, oh, bahut bura hua and all that. No, we have lost the trust and faith in the Lord. No, we have lost it. That it is out of His great mercy that even trouble comes to me. We are not able to see it like that. Our first reaction is how to make it better, how to solve it. Mm. But we don't say it is if it is your will. This is your will, my Lord. This is your will, and may only that happen which is your will. And I know this is your will. I am receiving it as your will. you know and then my ma said something so beautiful. She said, if supposing you get a disease, that God comes in that form. Supposing you get somebody says something nasty to you, God comes in that form to you. you know Supposing anything happens like that, some trouble comes to you, God comes in that. Some joy comes to you, God comes. So for the joy part, we're easy to say that God comes to you. But she said, like, God comes to us in this way. And this is out of His apar prem, apar love. So there is no there is no there's no boundary to His love. That imagine, could your, like Jesus said that those parents, even the worst, I'm paraphrasing, robbers and thieves, it would they also feed their kids stones for food? No. Then how will when we ask our great Father in heaven, why will He not give us what why will He not take care of us? No. So imagine that one who made the love of every mother, who made the love of everyone who loves each other, the one who is the source of this, you know, how much He would love us to give us this if any trouble comes on us. Like how much He would love us. Because what is His way that God wants to love us, God wants to protect us, God wants to care for us. This is His care when difficulties come, because we are not able to hear in any other way. What if you see a child every day going and putting his finger in the plug point, putting it on and putting his finger in the plug point? One day you'll stop lovingly, 2 days you'll stop lovingly, 3 days you'll stop lovingly. Huh? 4 days, then what you'll do? You'll give him one slap, no? You'll scream at him, you'll say, why don't you understand? And supposing he doesn't understand, then also, what are you going to do? You'll try everything, no, to stop him. Yes or no? If God does this to us, then it starts to feel like God doesn't love us, God doesn't understand us. Because we are actually those silly kids. We feel like, coming into the spiritual way, we become very mature, we become, no. We'll forever be God's silly children. and we will forever need his help to correct us. There is no finality, like, it is said in a lot of these false pseudo spiritual movements, enlightenment is done. No, there is no finality. There is no finality. हमने ये नहीं सुना है. हमने ऐसा नहीं सुना है. हमने सुना है कि हाँ, वो सच्चिदानंदा, बस पार ब्रह्मा, क्या वो सब पूर्णता, खत्म सब. हाँ, सब चक्रा खुल गए, सारी इनलाइटनमेंट हो गई, खत्म. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. आप उस मोमेंट में आप देख सकते हैं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, क्योंकि अगर अवतार है भगवान के, राम जी या जीसस, हाँ, वो आके अगर दे आर सेइंग ऑन द क्रॉस दैट he said that father have you forsaken me for a moment, और राम जी cried when सीता went. अगर ये ऐसे है तो हम किस खेत की मूली है बाबा? हम क्या है? वो अवतार थे भगवान के, वो इनलाइटनमेंट के पार थे, वो पैदा ही ऐसे हुए थे. वो भगवान के the only begotten son. So why do we have so much pride? We are like, we should be helpless and say, God, I need you. God, I want your help. I know I'll forever be imperfect. But for how long do we make this prayer, my loves? Don't make it for more than a few minutes. Then we are back to trying to become perfect. You see, this whole attempt is so futile. So first we need to realize how helpless we are. You see, we have to become humble. Like I remember me and Sama were having a conversation and she was saying, पता नहीं शायद मैं पूरी जिंदगी imperfect रहूं. नहीं शायद नहीं. Then I said, and it hit me that day that we all feel like this. कि पहले तो I was, silly, and now I've become okay. And maybe we also now seek perfection, no? We want to be perfect. We'll never be perfect. शायद नहीं, हम हमेशा ही हम में कुछ ना कुछ कमी रहेगी. क्या हम ऐसे जीने के लिए तैयार हैं? क्योंकि प्रभु जी ही सब कुछ है. हम कुछ नहीं, कभी भी नहीं बन पाएंगे. ये जब हम एक एटीट्यूड ले लेते हैं असली में, तो हमारे अंदर एक नया पौधा जन्मता है. वो पौधा है. Does a child want to be perfect? Does a child want to be like this? A child is very humble. A child is very innocent. Because वो ऐसे जीता है. आप किसी कोई बड़े इंसान को ऐसा बोला जाए कि आप, जो स्पिरिचुअल सीकर को बोला जाए कि कभी आप परफेक्ट बनेंगे ही नहीं, उसको तो लगेगा यार ये तो गलत बात है. मैंने तो सुना था कि मैं बनूंगा. मैंने तो सुना था कि कुछ तो होगा. हाँ, कि एक दिन तो मैं बस ऐसा बहुत बड़े श्री 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 माता जी या पिताजी बन जाऊंगा या कुछ बन जाऊंगी. दिमाग के ऐसे ख्याल है ना. और मेरे पास बहुत लोग आने चाहिए. हाँ, हजारों लोग आने चाहिए, फिर मेरा कुछ होगा. ये सब ढंग है दुनिया में जाके एक डिच में, हाँ, एक नाले में गिर जाना, गंदे नाले में गिर जाना. हम्म तो क्या आप सच्ची में ऐसे मान सकते हैं कि मैं कभी भी नहीं बन सकती परफेक्ट? कभी भी नहीं बन सकता. मुझे मोमेंट टू मोमेंट भगवान की मदद चाहिए. क्या जानते हैं हम? कुछ जानते हैं? डू वी नो एनीथिंग, माय लव्स? डू वी रियली नो एनीथिंग? हाँ, वी रियली नो एनीथिंग? वी डोंट नो एनीथिंग. फिर किस किस उससे हम लोग, यू सी हाउ प्राइड कम्स. You see, we don't know anything. Then we really don't know anything. We feel we know, but we don't know anything. तो हम किस मुंह से बार बार ऐसे जीने लगते हैं कि हम कुछ जानते हैं, हम भगवान के बारे में जानते हैं, हम प्रेम के बारे में जानते हैं, हम जिंदगी के बारे में जानते हैं? नहीं जानते बाबा, नहीं जानते कुछ भी हम। और जब तक we don't turn inwardly and tell God that God, everything that I feel I know, I sacrifice at your feet now, 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 now. I empty myself. I sacrifice every kind of knowing at your feet that only you may know on my behalf. For when in my smartness I feel like I'm doing well, I am failing, but when in your strength I walk, although I am no more myself, I am complete in that way. I am home in that way. And that's where my heart longs to be. I don't want to know. My knowing only messes it up. The minute I pick up a position that I am someone, the minute I know that I am a person separate, the minute I know anything in my mind, I fully lose touch with the light of God within my heart. I don't know, Father. I do not want to know anymore. This knowing is the trap of Maya. Empty of all this knowing. I might not have words to explain. I might not have visuals to hold on to, or any perception, any thought. But this is the only way that I find rest in my heart. Do I leave my house vacant that God can come and start living there? Do I leave my heart temple open for God to enter? Or do I get afraid? Do I get distracted? Do I waver by believing thoughts? and lose my chance to host the Lord in my heart. This is our condition. As much as we crave to host God in our heart, quickly we want to fill it up. Quickly we want to fill it with a thought, or with some fear will come, some very right sounding spiritual idea will come. We don't want to stay vacant. Things which are meant to make us vacant, they make us prideful. If we are to inquire, if we are to pray, either we start to beat ourselves up or we start to feel very great about it. Things which are meant to make us vacant, they start to fill us, you know. And the mind is very clever. It will come in very, very devious ways. But remember that nothing it does is your doing or means anything for you. Nothing it does. No matter what visual it shows you, no matter what commentary it gives you, no matter what conclusions it makes, it has nothing to do with us. Like nothing it says or does or creates or can create, good or bad, has anything to do with us, anything to do with our reality. So if you are sitting in prayer and things are showing up, you know, it's troubling you, it's distracting you, it's doing all kinds of things. Or if you are in day to day life and it is telling you that it should be this way or that way, it has nothing to do with you. So this is should be a great relief for us. You know that nothing it is saying applies to you. Because it can only speak about that which is objective. Correct. So because it can speak only about that which has a quality, and it is not about you, you are instantly pointed to that. Your reality, which is absolutely qualityless. It is unfathomable to the mind who we are. It is unfathomable to the mind who we are. Correct. And it is going to keep trying to fit you in a box to make you feel like you are an objective entity in this world. So it will make stories about this body mind character and all sorts of other characters it will present, all sorts of other objective things it will present, and try to make you get involved in that. It makes a full masala story. Emotions will happen, it'll put the good stuff, the bad stuff, the fear, the love, and all warped definitions of it, of course. Mm. Lust, anger, greed, everything. It's going to project. No matter what it projects, it's okay. It's got nothing to do with you. See it like this, my loves. When you sit down to pray or when you sit down to meditate, remember that by God's grace alone, everything happens in this world and that you are taken care of. Number one. Number two, that these visuals or thoughts or distractions inside and outside are like these demons. Let's call them demons. They are like these demons who come to distract you. Does that demon have anything to do with you? So let's take the demon of gluttony, hunger. You're sitting, just nice meditation you're having, and the demon of hunger, yeah, it does this with everyone. you know It'll come and say, just go and eat that, no, Now, does this demon of gluttony have anything to do with you? It has nothing to do with you. See it like this. See it like these demons are coming and going. Okay. I know it's a, in the um, Christian way, they would call it like this. And I love this analogy, no? So the demon of chastity, they say, that these lustful thoughts are coming. So this demon will do what? It will play out scenes, or it will uh, encourage you to engage in these activities outwardly, inwardly. So see it as a demon trying to allure you and let it go. Spot these demons. Huh? This demon of you know, this very who always likes to talk about others, you know, in our mind, then it will start talking, because when you interact with people, then this one comes more active. So we have all these, or this demon of, uh, pride. So, it'll start to feel, you know, it'll come in its own way. So just see these as demons coming and going, huh? They are trying to allure you, huh? And they are going. And is that demon you? Is what I'm saying. You know why I'm calling it demon is because, is that demon us? Supposing it comes and tries to allure you with food, just go and make that. Just let's just order that one thing. When you're just sitting with God, it knows when to trouble you. Do you see that? The minute you sit to meditate, then it will trouble you. The demon of money, you know, then it will come and trouble you. It will bring all kinds of troubles and. But does that demon have anything to do with me? If it comes and tells me, oh, you are hungry, really, are you gonna faint and fall and die? Till that doesn't happen, don't worry when you sit to meditate, if you're hungry or not. It's okay. You see how it comes. Hmm? It's very clever. So they are designed in this way that, they will come to trouble those who want to go within. Just let's go out. Yeah. It's been too much at home. Let's go out. We'll come back and do the prayer. Who will do the prayer? Yeah. No, no, no. It doesn't look nice. No, no, no. It's very hard. Something. The procrastination. The one that just makes you delay everything. Or otherwise, the demon of sloth. Hmm? Just making you lazy. Are who will get up and go to satsang and all? Huh? Who will do the prayer? Who will cook? Like that, lazy it'll make you. Does that have anything to do with you? Why am I calling these demons? Is because you must look, the one that induces fear in you. Oh, it'll be like that. It'll be like that. Oh, it'll be so hard. This won't work out. It has nothing to do with you. It is just that nature of that demon that it starts to speak like that. Correct. It is its nature. Correct. So supposing one Gujarati walks in to this room, Gujarati is going to speak in Gujarati language. Correct. Punjabi walks in, he's going to speak in Punjabi. A Kannada person will speak in Kannada. Kannadika will speak in Kannada. Marathi will speak in Marathi. Sindhi will speak in Sindhi. So like that. So this demon of gluttony is going to behave a certain way. Correct. And we know that. It's not like we don't know that. Hmm. So the gluttony and the lust and the envy and the sloth, we are able to spot, no? These. So always see like this is the nature of that demon. When it comes, it is going to arouse you in that way, and it is its nature. So that demon is trying to distract you that time. Just don't go with it. Now, demon, I know it's the word sounds like, oh, demon, not like that. I'm just saying that everything is a demon which takes us away from God's light. And when you really look at it, if you see the exchange that we make, it's super demonic, I feel, because it takes you away from your home. It takes you away from your peace. It makes you into somebody you are not. Imagine suddenly you start to feel like you are a cup. Zara is here. Zara feels like from today onwards, she's a cup. Would not that energy be so demonic to make you feel like you're a cup? But to ruin my child's life, making her feel the whole time that she's a cup, what kind of a life would she have? But this has already happened to us. That we feel like we are this body, we are this, person. This has already happened to us, and it is as absurd as taking ourselves to be a cup. So, in order to return home to who we are, we must notice these that confine us, into concepts, bind us into ideas about who we are as demonic forces trying to take us away. Let's see it like that. I don't know why I'm speaking like this, but it's because it has nothing to do with us. And in our reality, we are backed by God. So we have nothing to fear. We are not helpless. We have nothing to fear. But these are not innocent energies which, if you indulge in, that you will be left feeling good. If you indulge in, you will go in a roller coaster, So better not indulge and stay with who you are, stay with God. And if you cannot, just learn to remain empty. He will notice your efforts and He will reward you if it is His will. Hmm. So, how do we exert our will? We give in to these temptations of the mind and we then take on that as our will. You see what a uh, dense, horrible way it is to live. We give in to the temptations of the deluder, the one who puts us into delusion. We give in to the temptations of that one and then live by that one's ideas of right and wrong, and we call that our will. So that's why it is so important to let go of our will. So it's very important to let go of our will because it was never our will. It is the mind posing to us as if that this is what you want. I want, I want. I would like it like that. If that happened, that would be good. If that did not happen, that would not be good. So now do you understand the meaning of the word sin? Hmm? This is the sin that we commit. So for those in the world who don't know what is this sin, they could still be forgiven. But for us, what valid reason do we have to be forgiven by God? We know that it is the mind's idea of going this way, that way, the mind's right and wrong, that then we pick up out of fear that, oh, there'll be no control. Out of fear, I pick up that right and wrong, right? And then I say that that is my will. That's what I want. But this I to begin with is who? There is nobody such as that I. There is no I like that. It is just the mind bluffing us. And we are getting bluffed over and over again. Do we notice how many times in the last 1 hour we have gotten bluffed? Then we will not feel proud. Then we will not shy to say to God that I want your mercy and that I am a sinner. It's easy to go on repeating blindly, but you have to also meet deeply in your heart what is being said, you know. Uh, and like this, you will see that you are incapable, a handicap, a foolish handicap in front of the Lord. Because our whole life went by, we don't even know how to hear our good Lord. So we must start from, even we are below ground zero. We are trying to first come to zero. Do you see? Look at our pride, but we want to be accomplished spiritual seekers. But we are not, and it's okay. And we must not even aim for that. Hmm? So you see that you don't know anything. You don't even know how to hear the Lord. Such patience and courage is needed. Patience is needed and courage is needed. Patience is needed because quickly we want to follow what the mind tells us. Quickly we feel it's right, no matter what the teacher is saying. The teacher might be telling you, hear me deeply. We might be on our own trip. Hmm. So quickly we go on our own trip. Quickly. How quick is it? Yes. So patience is very important that Lord, I notice that my mind will take me and I do not expect that it's going to stop. Let it try with everything. I will patiently stay and not go with it. Let these funny little, those little toy demons, they are like toy demons. Huh? They are coming, one will audition, then the other will audition, then the third will audition, like that. Huh? And but it once you log into it, it's full suffering. Correct? So you will say, okay, Lord, I will wait. But in that waiting, what will happen? The mind will try to take you in more because we're not used to being empty. None of us are. I'm also not. None of us are. Okay? So I'm noticing these things here, so I'm telling you there. Correct? So what to do then? Then we must have courage to stay. We must take the support of our prayer. We must take support of inquiry, whatever it takes. Okay, and we must take courage and stay. Hmm? We must not use too many different things. We must hold on to one or two things and then use them and stay. Hmm? Stay. Courage is needed, and we must do it again and again, again and again. Each time we spot. So in a minute, if you spot this 3-4 times, you will do it 3-4 times. In a minute, if you spot this 10 times, you will do it 10 times. There are situations in life when you are faced with something and quickly you feel like, without even exercising patience, you quickly feel like this is the way to do it. Now, that situation could be very big, or it could be the littlest thing in which you have just a habit. It could be the smallest thing, or it could be a huge thing. And you don't even consider in those moments. So start to look, are you being patient? Are you being patient? Are you being empty? Forget about hearing God's will. I don't know if we will ever be able to follow His will, because in our nature is sin. We are sinners by nature, and it is only by His grace that we can be redeemed. That's up to Him. So I am okay being a sinner. I am okay never hearing the Lord. If He doesn't want to speak to me, I'm okay. But from my side, I'm going to not go on trying to give into these ideas of my mind to be right, to play along with these demons, either get happy or get sad. I will learn to stay in my heart as much as possible. surrender, not feel great about myself, not feel big about myself, not feel like I need to achieve. On the contrary, I'm going to start noticing where I'm at. Look at my condition. Do I really know anything? How much do I need the mercy of the Lord? How much do I need His help moment to moment? I don't know anything. In this way, we'll soften up. In this way, we'll soften up. You know, when we live like this, we will soften up somewhere. You know, I don't know what I have said, but the words felt they came from my heart. So, we can. It's very important to see that I feel like this, I want this, I think this, I know this is actually those demons of the head trying to claim. They are trying to allure you into claiming their voice as your voice. Hmm? I don't like it. How quick we are to say that. How could he do that? How quick? These are not voices of our heart. These are those voices in the head which are begging you to claim them. They are begging you to claim them. And so when you make them your voice, then you log into this world of the devil where we live. It's actually quite a sad place where we are living, no? Where we are only ruled by our mind, and we are not able to come out. But it's a stark difference you can see, when you can see through this. And then when you are in your heart, um, and when you're okay to be nobody there, you're okay to be not special, you're okay over there, to be not seen, to be nobody, because you're filled with God's love in your heart. Hmm? And when you're filled with God's love, you're okay. Whether you understand something, you don't, you know something, you don't, somebody thinks you're good, bad, you're okay. You know, uh, because you have taken refuge in the home of God, in the supreme place of not knowing. You know, only the babes shall enter the kingdom of God, Jesus said, huh? Not the hot babes. Huh? The children, will enter the kingdom of God. This is how, by not knowing how quick we are. This happened to me, that happened to me, I like this, I don't like that. That happened to me. All me, me, me. No. Most of our day goes in idle talk also, no. So much we're talking, 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 talking. Rubbish we're talking. Huh? Literally rubbish we're talking. Hmm? No, this is unnecessary stuff we go on about. So mm, mostly it's about me. Hmm? And I'm not saying that you must not report, etc. Of course, you will say that, I received a beautiful report today that I have been following, that, may God's will uh, it's all God's will. And one brother had a beautiful time, was going through a difficult time, and it helped him. And I'm so happy to receive that report. But in ourselves all the time, we must not have that, you know, so much this self concern, then we cannot be in the place of not knowing. Self concern and not knowing cannot go together. You cannot say that, oh, how will I survive? I don't know anything. That is also too much self concern. You know? Oh, but I don't know anything. But how come it's about you? Still. uh, So self concern and not knowing cannot survive together. Not knowing, we are like children in the lap of God. We are an invitation. Our life is an invitation for the Lord. When we are letting go fully of all knowing. You can understand all these words through your mind, and they will do you great disservice. Or you can just be struck by them and just say God, uh, just take God's name, you know, that's it. He'll do what needs to be done, no? You've seen your efforts, where they go. Huh? We've all seen our efforts, huh? How handicapped we are. No matter what we do, where we are at, we know. Even though we might be feeling very proud or, about little things, but we know very well where we are at, uh, and how much we need Him, you know, and we can only truly need Him. See, we do need Him. We do need Him, but we can only need Him when we don't know. We can only need Him when we don't know, because if we already know, then why do we need Him? Correct. So we must come into a place that I don't know anything, that I need your mercy, because literally we don't know anything. Supposing we say that I know this is a cup. Do we really know this? Because we've just learned the label cup. We just learned the label blue. We are very daft that we put these learned concepts. Anybody put these learned concepts in our head? And then we are ready to fight that I know this is a cup and this is blue. Somebody else could have put in another country the concept that this is a small little pot to be a planter for plants. That one will fight for this one will fight for this. We actually don't know anything. We say, yeah, this wall is white. Really, we know? Somebody fed us this. Is this your knowing? Is this your knowing? It's not our knowing. We literally don't know anything from our source, from our heart, from our truth. It's not our knowing. Nothing is known, even about my body. That I have a tongue, that I have this. No, there is an automatic functioning of it. That too by God's grace. I don't know how to do any of these things. My hair. My hair. Do I know how to grow one single strand of hair? We literally don't know anything. All is borrowed concepts of others. And I'm sure even they didn't know anything. Till we don't meet the Lord within our heart, who will reveal to us, like he read that first you seek the kingdom of God and that everything shall be revealed to you after. But it's so funny that we have to live in this world and we have been told that this is the way, but we are going the other way. We have been told that this is the way, we're doing everything except for this way. Why? Because this way needs patience, it needs courage, it's hard, it's not so straightforward, it's very hard. I don't feel it's all simple and all of that. But it is doable if we are being told. I feel it is doable, and it is only by God's grace. God can create a plant into an enlightened being. Mm. God can create uh, anything. He can change anything into anything. He can switch such a huge sky weather like that. Huh? So what is our life? Little lives. He can do anything like that. He does. Person is alive and dead like that. He does anything to anyone. If we live by His mercy, all can change. Hmm? But we are not living on His mercy because we are living on our planning, our spiritual strategies. If I do this, this will happen. If I do that, that will happen. We are not ready to be pulled by Him deeply in our heart. Hmm? God must drag us inside, no? He must not even, we should allow Him to drag us within, uh, not even tug at us. We should crave that He drags us within, no? Takes us within Him. in his heart and forgets that he took us in. We always live in his heart. Empty of all positions, all what is right or wrong for us. We have to stop living for ourselves. We have to stop living so much for ourselves. Hmm? Questions, anybody on this? I could tell Sama as a question. Question look.
तो जैसे वहां कुछ दिख रहा है क्लियर कि यहाँ पे लाइक क्लियरली स्ट्रगलिंग टू लेट गो एंड आई लाइक इट्स क्लियरली इंटरफेयरिंग देयर इज नो नीड फॉर दैट वरी अननेसेसरी आई एम नॉट बीइंग एबल टू ट्रस्ट क्लियरली दिख रहा है फिर क्या करूं
That only I'm saying that how incapable we are. In spite of being told everything, we fail. In spite of having not just one teacher and a guru, we fail. In spite of praying, we fail. In spite of coming to satsang, we fail. Yeah, and that's why we need his mercy. This is why we need his mercy, because we're not able to do it on our own. And the other thing is that remember that it is not something which is happening to you. You do have interest in that. That's why it troubles you. It is not out of the blue that I am stuck there and dikh raha hai, I am stuck there. It is your interest in that. Without that, it will not survive. So if you feel you are stuck somewhere, you have interest there and you are not able to let it go, I can understand that. And then you see how much of God's grace and mercy do you need? Do you now see what is the need for begging for mercy from Him? That look at our condition. In spite of Him spelling it out to us, don't have interest, yet my interest goes there. And I am not even able to deny that it is not me who has interest and it is just something on the outside. Correct. So we need His mercy, we need His mercy. We are foolish. This is why we'll never be perfect. And grateful, we should be that we can see where we are stuck. And you have seen that you have been stuck in so many places and you keep on transcending, but there are so many blind spots still. And there are some that have been persistently there. Persistently there. Have you seen how thick-skinned we have become? That's why we need His mercy.
पाइप में अटक मतलब बहुत ज्यादा मतलब उनका पुश चाहिए भगवान की तरह
You don't know if you need a push to come out of it or you need a push more to go into it. You don't know what is good for you. If He brought this upon you, this is good for you. It is only by His will. You can pray that, God, I see I'm stuck here, but I don't know. I need your mercy, and His mercy could come in any way. His mercy could come that you go more deeply into it and you suffer more, that you shine more out of it. Or the mercy could be that it goes. But our asking for mercy is what? Please fix this problem, no? Quickly fix this problem, God, because I have seen through it and it causes me discomfort. Please, can you fix it? That is our concept of mercy. God's mercy is the act of offering up our will and asking for His will to be done. That is God's mercy, that we say that I don't want my will anymore, that may your will prevail. That is to ask for mercy. But what is our concept of mercy? Make everything good, make me one enlightened, being, and all of that is not mercy. I don't know if I was to die in great suffering and great problem and difficult life, if that is good for me, or a easy life with, you know, an enlightened life is good for me. I don't know. What I must do is I must offer up my will again and again to God. Because it is only the demons which try to make me feel like I am stuck in it. Their whole trip is to convince me first to come with those same things, then to convince me that it is about me, about the one that doesn't exist, and then to make it that one's will that I want this or that. And they play in a very devious way, that they say, oh, this is playing out, they'll show you a visual. Then they will say that I don't want this. So your will becomes in relation to that which they show you. And that's the way they keep you trapped in this, you know. Uh, it's all in the mind, my dear. If you just spotted it like that, it would just go. But remember that it is your interest which makes it. They can't do nothing. No, nothing can do nothing to you. I don't feel, you know, these are, in fact, uh, they are not very big things, my dear. They seem big because that is in their design. It'll come and it'll tell you it's big. So you will first believe it's big and then you will try to solve it. And that becomes your will. It's in the design of it. Don't think it's very stupid. It knows that it will present this. It will seem big to you. And then you will want to solve it. And you will pick up your individual will. Don't think it is a very silly, innocent that, oh, this thought came and then. No, it knows how to play this one. It knows when it brings that to Sama, then Sama will say that, oh, that is really big and that troubles me. It knows that when it brings these thoughts on top of those thoughts, you will believe them. And then you will say, oh, I want to fix it. It's not right. Then again, right and wrong. And then when you will pick up this right and wrong, then it has won. It has already won in selling you the thing that, oh, it's so big. Just in its appearance, nothing is there. But it will win by, it knows how, it knows it's been around you. So it knows your nature. It knows when it throws that, how you will act, and every time you will fall. It's predicted that. It's crazy, no? Mm. Good, Sama?
Thank you.
Is it selfishness to ask to help me with anger to God, with God?
Not at all.
Because I know I can't control. I quickly go with it and I ruin.
Not at all. You can ask him for everything. It's okay. Good. Of course, it's not selfish that you
I
can
can't
say that it
contain
hurts
us. Yeah.
people and I can't contain it, and please help me, God. But I'll tell you something. Anger is a response to fear,
Hmm.
where we feel scared, and we feel, when do we feel scared? When it's out of our control. It used to happen to me so much. I used to get very angry, very angry, like in day-to-day life with myself, very angry. And not all anger. Some anger is also a natural response, but this kind of a harmful, self-harming, self-concern, full of self-concern anger, full of ideas of right and wrong, it's full of fear because we get scared that, things are not in our control. So maybe you can spot that next time if you're getting angry, that, oh, I'm getting angry because things are not in my control and it's too much for us. It's not a comfortable place for us to be. It can be very full on when certain things we don't want to go through and God puts us through them, but they are for our best. you know we have to sacrifice our will there. Mhm. Yeah, it's not easy with the family. It's not easy. They know your buttons. Yeah, a little bit we have to not also react. If you're telling him don't make fun of God, don't make fun of God. If he's not getting it, maybe it's better not to tell him and he'll stop. Sometimes the other wants that reciprocation to keep going into it. No? Mm, So it's okay. It's not easy with family, but just see like, first of all, when people are not open, we don't have to tell them too much. They're not open. It's okay. Mm. Okay. Why, when this is one conversation I was having with somebody in the Sangha, that when somebody is not open, then why will you trouble yourself? When she was so troubled, you're also going to get troubled. No wonder both of you were getting angry and because somewhere then it becomes like my point is right, and also somewhere we like to debate. We like that banter and that, even though it's hellish. We've gotten used to that way. Why? Because we've been convinced by the mind again and again in that way. It's okay to simplify your life. I'm telling you, it's okay to let go of this spiritual activism when somebody is not open. There is a time for that also. When you see something really unfair, unjust, it's okay. But when somebody, your friend or your brother is not open, why we are pushing him? Who is more stupid in that case, he or us? I am more stupid if I know somebody is not open. And I have done that in the past, so I can tell you know, it's better to, and also we have to see, have I stopped saying anything about God fully? Have I fully come out of my issues? It's not to make you feel guilty, it's to give you a perspective how to then stay in your heart and not quickly come out and put it on to the others. Am I free of these things that I'm out there to preach? In my case, no. It's a very odd case when I have to share satsang, but I trust Father more than my stupid self. So if he tells me to share, I'll share, but I'm not free of a lot of it. And in fact, in my case, when I'm saying in satsang, I am seeing that I'm yet to start to live fully like this. I'm also hearing it, and I'm learning from it, you know. Um, so before reacting, you can see that, am I really living like how I'm preaching? It's okay to not. It's okay to not tell people if you don't find openness, it's fine. We all have to learn. Father says something, knock gently and see if somebody is open. So we all have to learn this. We can't barge in. We can't. We have to just, everybody, we can't. Even though they are wrong and we may be right, we have no right to take it upon ourselves if they are not open. Only make it worse than it is. Somebody is suffering, we'll make them suffer more. If we are not suffering, we'll go into suffering. This is what the mind wants. This is what this mind wants, and it wants to, then enjoy and make you feel like, Are, you were saying the right thing. Why was he not why is she not understanding? I was right. How could he say that? Yeah, if you instigate a person who is already messed up, then of course they're going to say and blurt out all kinds of things because you can already smell that they have it inside them. And not just smell, in your case, you've seen it again and again with him. So it's okay, just forgive him, just let him be. Hmm. Real chota bhai, no, it's meant to pareshan you. He's meant to trouble you. Cute. It's okay. See it as like cute. Tell him to shut up. Chota bhai, no. Little bit is good, no? Fighting with little brother and sister. It's very sweet. Tom and Jerry types. It's cute to watch. You're missing on all the action. He's very sweet. I've met him. He's very, very sweet boy. It's okay. Just don't rub him the wrong way. Just don't rub him the wrong way. Just don't poke him where he's young. No, he's barely 20, 21. So don't push him. You be the bigger one. It'll teach you also, no, patience. It'll teach you patience. And so no unnecessary gyan talking like that. You know, for him it'll sound like gyan, your help. At that age it'll sound like, why is she giving me this boring God gyan? And even later, if he wants to come to satsang or something, he will not come because he'll feel like she just gives gyan all the time. So it's okay. Is it wrong to pray? Everything is for God's will, then is it selfish to pray for things we want? Yes, well, things we want, we pray to sacrifice our will because we already want too much. We are not actually praying for what we want. We already want so much. On top of that, we want to pray for it also. So that is the very, very false way of praying. That means that God, you are a fool and you don't know what to do. I will tell you what is good for me, what I want. But the true devotee prays saying that God, take away my will. It is your world. I have wanted so much all my life and it has only caused me suffering. Desire is dukh. Desire is pain. It is suffering. So God, take away all that I want so that what you want for me should happen because only that will bring me true rest, true joy, true peace. Very good. Gluttony, huh?
Satsang started, I feel like want to eat pasta.
Yeah. This is the yes. Sure, sweet. You're hungry. We'll get you sweet. Yeah. This is the devil, no? It comes like just when you're, in satsang, it'll say, khana kha le. And then it'll arouse the taste buds. It'll play with the body like that. It'll cooperate. The body will cooperate with it. Good start happening in the stomach. Yeah. It'll do that. Good to spot it, Good to spot it. Yeah. When it does that, no, like you're not fainting, no, out of hunger. So you can see it. Like, is it really your voice which is saying that? That is what you have to say. Then you can start to spot what is not your voice first. In this way that, oh, I would like to have pasta the minute satsang started, is that your voice? So when these things happen, you must notice that whose voice is it? Is that really my voice? When we can say that no, that's not my voice. So at least we know what is not my voice. And then we can, if by it is God's grace, and if it is God's will, our true voice will be revealed to us. But for that, we must have patience, courage. Hmm?
Ma, I am noticing that I'm not angry, but I'm feeling some kind of anger and ego right now. And when you said, okay, if you feel any kind of emotion or resistance, then you should pray to God. So I took it lightly. Okay, ठीक है, कर लेंगे, pray to God. Like, it, बहुत resistance आ रहा है.
So this anger, this irritation, is it you? Just notice what is the mind saying. I'm angry. Is it your voice? Does it feel like your voice?
No.
Okay. So then how is it troubling you? Then just see it. No, just see it as that demon that I was saying. Because satsang you must be hearing it. And it's not liking you hearing it. So it's going to try to create all these things, it's going to try to arouse you. Now, if it is not your voice, no matter what it is saying, मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है, मुझे irritation हो रही है, no matter if it's saying this, do you have to believe it? Does it become your voice? Tell this one to make you more angry now and more irritated. Chal. Tell it. Because this demon of anger and this and that just likes to play like this because it knows when it comes, we will resist it. And we will start to go along with it. So now tell it ki you come more. Go mad with anger. Tell it. Tell it, make me as angry as you can. Just follow what I'm saying. Tell it, make me as angry as you can. Tell me what happens then.
Nothing is happening right now.
Right. You're angry, no? So we have to fix that.
It is seen like it's not me, but a lot of heaviness on my face and head.
It's okay. You don't know if that heaviness is good or bad. You don't know if it is a spiritual experience or if it is a out of anger or irritation. We don't know. Do you know? We don't know. अभी किसी और को heaviness हो गया face पे और उस पे तो वो तो बोलेगा वाह मुझे कोई spiritual experience हो रहा है सत्संग में. हाँ? You don't know if it is good or bad. It wants you to take this as proof. It wants this to be a proof that you're not feeling good and this and that. So what if there's heaviness? It's not allowed. You have to tell God, no heaviness allowed. Huh? Because this mind wants you to say that, isn't it? That why is there heaviness? Why? Accept it. It's okay.
No, problem is that I can see it, but I'm not disbelieving it. I'm following it. Like, I want to hear you right now, but I was checking my phone, I'm doing random things. So it is seen and I'm not liking it, but still it's happening.
So
But now you are able to see it or not. Pehle whatever happened, happened. Let it go. Let it go. It's okay. All of us fall, Nandu. Even I fall, no? It's possible sometimes. I'll also check my phone. I'll also do this. I'll also do that. It's okay. No big deal, my dear. It wants you to make it a big deal. Is it a really big deal? Like if we really look at it, is it such a huge deal? I'm saying right now, no matter what it is saying, tell it to say that 100 times more. It's trying to tell you, na, that you're not able to hear me. I'm not able to hear her. I'm really not able to hear her. Tell this one to tell you this 100 times more. उसको बोल कि तू मेरे को और दे भाई, मैं यहाँ पे खड़ी हूँ, हाँ मैं भी खड़ी हूँ तेरे साथ, बोल उसको आने के लिए. Call it, it has to come. Because it wants to make these things big deal, no, for you. वो कितनी बड़ी बात हो गई, तो क्या हुआ यार, अटेंशन कोई भी नहीं देता, पूरी अटेंशन सत्संग में कुछ नहीं होता, सबकी अटेंशन इधर उधर जाती, किसी की थॉट्स में चली गई, किसी ने फोन चेक कर लिया, किसी ने कॉफी पी ली, तो कोई सो गया, कोई उजग गया, ठीक है, कुछ नहीं होता. Now
it's okay.
do you notice how this one comes? It knows when it will say these few things, then you'll believe it and then you'll trouble yourself. That's why it does it. It wants you to get troubled.
It's not like saying anything. And I don't know what is happening. Like I can see it. It's not saying anything, but maybe only the physical thing is bothering.
Yeah, but supposing in a physical thing, we are all constricted like that, huh? Do we know that is good or bad for it to bother? You already know that it is bad, no, for you. I am saying that a lot more constriction can happen on our journey to God. Are we ready for that? क्योंकि हम यहाँ नहीं आए हैं बेटा अच्छा अच्छा फील करने, है ना. पहले क्या होता था, अच्छा फिजिकल ये है, चलो ब्रीदिंग कर लो, ये कर लो, वो कर, नहीं, वी हैव टू सी थ्रू इट. We have to see it. A lot more physical things can happen. Like for me also today, my head is so heavy. Like I was telling them, I'm so tired, you know. Something's hurting, something this, that. Do I know if this is good for me or bad for me? I can only get troubled by it if I say this is bad for me. So for a moment, say in your heart, God, say this in your heart. Dil se say it. That God, this physical sensation, whatever is happening, you know best. I am so thankful that you gave this to me. Thank you, because you know what's best for me. When I say that this is bothering me, means that I know what is better for me, and then I suffer. Even if it is very uncomfortable, even if it is very, very uncomfortable, thank you, God, because you gave it to me. It's your will. It's your wish. Nothing can touch any child of God without His permission. So if God gave us something, who are we to say that this is bothering me, this is troubling me? Is your suffering bigger than Christ on the cross? That you are getting so troubled? This is the attitude to have. Then these little things, we will learn to grow through them. We are all learning. This is the way to learn. Never feel like I failed or I didn't do. This is the process of growing, my dear. It's very important to come up to share so honestly. I really am grateful that you're so honest, and now you see that God, nothing could come to me without your will. And if this is your will, I'm so grateful, even if it's uncomfortable. Hmm? Are you able to say this to God?
I
And
could
then
say
how?
this with you, but when I tried a few minutes ago, I couldn't do it, and it was so
Overwhelming.
bothering me that I am not able to pray. I'm chanting on mala, but I don't want to pray right now.
Okay, it's okay. Now it's good. Forget about the last minute. Now, how is it? Just forget about the past, like it never happened. The mind wants you to remember how it was so difficult, because now it's not able to make it difficult for you. So now it wants you to be in the memory of how difficult it was. It never wants you to just be infantile, fresh.
I can do it, Vishnu.
Yes. Very good, my dear. I'm so happy we had this talk, no?
Thank you.
My dear. Anyone else wants to say anything? Questions? Good. So nothing can come upon us if it is not God's will. Nothing in this world can touch us because we are God's kids. This is so reassuring, no? Very, no? Nothing. No problem, no disease, nothing. It is only by His grace, on the contrary, that difficulties come to us. Like it is only by His grace that sometimes we get troubled and then that we grow out of it. That something deepens in us, in looking together in satsang, in our prayer time, in our meditation, in our life, in satsang with Father. It is everything is God's grace. If we live like that, life will be a lot more uh, sacred, the way it must be. For us, must be like that. Mm. A life pleasing to God. Our life will become pleasing to the Lord. Mm. If we are, if we are full of lot of negative depression, anger to God instead of unconditional gratitude, what are the baby steps we have to take to be less negative and more thankful? Baby steps would be, my dear, that do you know how to breathe your breath? Do you know how to take your breath? Do you know how to beat your heart? Like who is beating your heart for you? Who is digesting your food for you? Who is blinking your eyes for you so perfectly? Who is moving your hands for you? Hmm? Who keeps everybody? Who holds up the sky, my dear, and that it doesn't fall down on our head? Hmm? Who holds the ground together, that it doesn't, that it floats above the sea and that it doesn't drown? Huh? So Who makes the plant come out of that one seed that feeds you? Hmm? Who is breathing your breath? Who is beating your heart? Must not we have so much gratitude that in our sleep we should have died by now? Something is breathing on our behalf. God breathes for us. God lives through us, lives for us, and takes care of us. And we who we take ourselves to be don't even exist uh, the way we think. Who we think we are does not exist. Another baby step would be, which is a massive leap, is that I am saying that I don't like him, I am this, I am that, but I don't even know who is this I. I have not even met myself fully yet. So how must I have so much arrogance? Hmm? Not even knowing who I am. How must I say anything? All my claims are false because I start every sentence with I, and this I is not known to me. There is a higher power, higher intelligence, which is God Himself, which takes care of everyone. My loves. If we are angry, God lets so much violence happen in the world. Yes, God knows what's good in His world, my dear. God is not doing it. We can't be angry at God. It is us who does it. God should be angry at us. God should be angry at us. We shouldn't be angry at God. God gave us a beautiful world. Uh, and we have become like this. So instead of telling anybody, you be the change, you be the change, we have to be the change. Mm. Um, have you ever chanted on a mala? The mala, one bead, one bead, one bead, then the whole mala is done. The whole mala of 108 beads is done with one bead, one bead, one bead. So we be that one bead of change, it's enough. And God should be very, very angry at us. And how dare we be angry at Him because He's continuing to shine the sun at us, even here now. He's continuing with our foolishness to make the seasons change, for giving us breath to breathe. It is humanity which has gone astray. And all tools are available to everyone. And it is very sad, and it is like they say, Kali Yuga. It is very, very sad, and I fully hear you. Our brothers and sisters have fallen into such darkness. It's very sad, my dear. The world has really gone into a ditch. God gave us such a beautiful world, but look what we did for it. Look what we did to it. Look how we treat our brothers and sisters. You know, uh, Very sad, my dear. It's very sad. You're right. But we must never ever raise a finger to God. We must say that God, you gave us such a good world, and look what we did to it. It is in such times of darkness that the avatars come, like we are in now. The time that we are in now is the kind of time that Jesus came in, that Ramji came in, full of darkness. now is the time that an avatar is needed, no? It's all about selfishness, all about me. Humanity is so distraught, where everybody is angry at others who are actually coming to satsang, to God. Look at the world is mad. Young kids are getting grief from home for coming to satsang. It's a complete Kali where definition of party is to get intoxicated and be high. Uh, um, Satsang and God has become like the most foolish thing to do, or a place to go and ask for more riches in the world. Hmm? Manners. Want to say something? Hey, my darlings. Really nice. Thank you all. Thank you all. Love you all. See you on Saturday. Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai Ho. Love you all.